Nobel Prize for Physics given to scientists who open doors to another world with quantum discoveries. Robot Ada answers questions from UK lawmakers. As crypto traders debate whether Bitcoin is going to 25K or 15K first, the world's largest financial institutions are laying the groundwork for mass adoption. State of Quantum Computing in 2022 for Business Leaders, published on November 24, 2019. Spare yourself the trouble and delay learning anything about quantum computing until 2022. Hello, I'm NFT Nancy, and welcome to Web3 This Week, where I'm going to be going over everything that's happened in the space this week. Now let's get to it. So here we are in 2022, and it's time to learn about quantum computing. Alain Aspect, John F. Clauser, and Anton Zeilinger have won the Nobel Peace Prize in Physics for showing the theory of quantum entanglement to be true. This is a theory partly proposed by Einstein, among others, and it is real. What this means is that particles can communicate across vast distances. For example, a particle here, where I am, can communicate to some place on the other side of the Earth. Or for example, a particle where I am can send communication to some particle on the other side of the galaxy, and this communication happens instantaneously. As the Royal Swedish Academy states, this is huge. This is huge because they have laid the foundation for a new era of quantum computing. The winner's work confirmed that quantum mechanics actually has utility in real-world applications. Michael Maloney, CEO of the American Institute of Physics, told CNN, "It's not just this theory to explain all the counterintuitive nature of the quantum world. It showed that by measuring some of the predictions, we can engage in applications like quantum computing and quantum cryptography." Maloney said the trio's discoveries are potentially going to change our world in terms of really practical things, like being able to do quantum computing, solutions that will help us with everything from vaccines to tech to weather prediction. The phenomenon could allow the secure transfer of information across huge distances between quantum computers using the features of entanglement, a process that Zeilinger described as quantum teleportation. As stated, this has implications for quantum computing and Web3. Stay tuned to learn more about what the implications are for Web3. For now, some applications of quantum computing that can benefit society are traffic optimization, solar capture, financial modeling, better batteries, health implications such as cancer to be treated as easily as common cold when humans crack quantum computing. Medical experiments are a thing of the past. Quantum computers make it possible to create, simulate, and design molecular structures down to the atomic level. This allows them, for example, to simulate how a new drug will work in a human being without first testing on humans or animals. So the implications for quantum computing are huge. What it means is we may no longer need humans or animals to test our stuff on. We can simply use these computers to create materials and test the stuff on that, which, in my opinion, is a much, much more humane approach. Plus, cancer can be easily treated. In what ways do you think that quantum computing can benefit society? Post in the comments below. Reddit has entered the Web3 space. I'm actually not going to talk too much about this because Brett Malinowski, whose video I've linked up above and it'll be in the comments below also, does a really good job of explaining it better than I can. But the gist of it is that Reddit is now in the Web3 space. They do not market it as things like NFTs and metaverse, but they do market it as digital assets. So their main focus is the digital assets, which kind of goes hand in hand with ownership of data. So they also really focus on the community owning their own community. So watch the video. In addition to Napster, Warner Brothers, Probably Nothing, and MTV already in the Web3 space, Mike Shinoda's Linkin is already in the space with his second collection that he just dropped a few weeks ago. Let's check it out. So here we are on OpenSea with Mike Shinoda's drop called Windchime. So it says right here, Windchime is a collection of 2,000 interactive music players, each with unique art.
On any NFT, click on a circle to start making your own track. Art and music by Mike Shinoda, built by Secret Garden. Visit this website and share your own mixes. So here's what one of the NFTs looks like, and here's the circles. So apparently each of those circles is kind of like this bass track that musicians can build their music on top of that. So I just think that's really awesome, and probably, I haven't done it, but probably really fun to interact with.
The collection is called Windchimes, and it's a music NFT. Alright folks, there's a new bank in town, or rather an old bank entering the Web3 space.
BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, launches crypto services.
BNY Mellon, a 238-year-old institution, has now entered the Web3 space with a digital asset custody platform, and they're adding this to their already existing 23 trillion, that's trillion with a T, assets under management as of 2022. They are now part of the group that includes JP Morgan and Visa, who are already in the Web3 space.
JP Morgan continues to experiment with blockchain technology and digital assets even after its CEO attempts to dismiss the sector as a Ponzi scheme.
So obviously they weren't fond of this space before, but they're going strong into it and they're expanding rapidly. JP Morgan and Visa's goal is to make international transactions on the blockchain easier. So it's interesting to note that JP Morgan and Visa have now collaborated to make these cross-border transactions easier, and this comes on the heels of the September 16th, 2022 White House press release for digital assets and other things on the blockchain, and one of their objectives is to increase the ease of transactions cross-border, specifically on the blockchain. So that's interesting. So the next topic is BitIslands in SocialFi. So SocialFi is really interesting because it's an up-and-coming space in the Web3 space. So currently, obviously, even here I am on YouTube, which is a Web2 platform. So people in the Web3 space still have to use Web2 mediums to communicate. For example, some of those Web2 mediums are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Twitter, etc. A lot of those other socials. So what BitIslands wants to do is do SocialFi, which is social platforms in the Web3 space. The founder of BitIslands, Craig Simmons' motivation to start this Web3 platform stems from a few different facts. They are:
today's social environment is entirely controlled by a few social media giants. These giants control our data and limit our freedom on the internet through censorship, leakage, silos, and data abuse.
Web3 principles puts the data back into the user's hands. Simon suggests that in the next bull market, 100 million users will be using dApps on the Web3 platforms.
The social platform will revolve around the basic principles of Web3, which are: you own your own data, your keys, your crypto, more comprehensive interconnection.
They then use these Web3 principles to look for new interaction scenarios and build products around these new interaction scenarios.
Web3 interaction scenarios address the pain points that Web2 socials can't solve and aims to solve them, which are the monetization of creators and the identification, interest aggregation, and collaboration based on on-chain activities and assets.
Let's talk a little bit about monetization here. In the Web2 space, the companies make the money based on your data, basically. They get the revenue. In the Web3 space, it is you that owns your data, and ideally you get the money from your data. You get the revenue from your data. In order to do this, Simmons' main goal is to make it a lot easier for users to monetize their contributions, and in this way, increase the flow of data exchanged through parties. In order to make BitIslands work, Simmons states that
the key to making any mechanism work in the long run is the value created. Simple financial games won't be sustainable. Our approach is to explore the intrinsic value social can bring and generate an external economy based on that.
All right, I'd love to know what you think is needed in order to make monetization in Web3 a lot easier. Is it maybe the technical aspect, the financial aspect, the social aspect? How can you make Web3 work for you? How can you make Web3 generate revenue for you? I'd love to hear. Post in the comments below. On the heels of the collaboration of Facebook and Microsoft, Google announces their Cloud and Web3 collaboration.
So the key points of the collaboration include The Project Starline, the tech makes users feel as if they are sitting in the same room. The newly developed tech will become available to enterprise partners first. Google plans on using AI adaptive cameras in virtual or metaverse meeting spaces, and Google Chat will have more expressive emojis and inline threaded conversations.
So in order to achieve their goals, they've basically hired an army of Web3 devs to help them build in this space. This is another clear indication that we're moving forward in this bear market in this Web3 space. Exciting news. AI demonstration for UK lawmakers. Before I get into this, I'd like to circle back to the first topic we were talking about, quantum entanglement and how this relates to Web3. Web3 uses computers and security based on cryptography.
Google's quantum computer is about 158 million times faster than the world's fastest supercomputer.
This means that we can now send huge amounts of data to the other side of the galaxy instantaneously. For example, quantum computing significantly speeds up how long computations take.
Time times power equals energy, and we're making time smaller. Assuming power stays the same, then energy is also decreased, which means less energy consumption. This means that we have less of an environmental impact when using energy, and our energy bills decrease. Actual, practical application that affects your wallet in a good way.
Here's a super simple conceptual diagram of how quantum computing works.
So this is how the quantum cryptography system works in quantum computing. So we have a sender and a recipient. So the sender sends information over a single photon, and only two parties can exchange this information. The two parties that are entangled. They're the only ones that can have access to that information without the information changing. It is not possible to copy the information exchanged. So, two things. First of all, the eavesdropper, there cannot be an eavesdropper without maintaining the information being intact. And secondly, it is not possible to copy the information exchange.
The implications for AI using quantum computing is that as quantum computing speeds up, so does AI, which means that AI develops faster and faster. To give you an idea of how much faster these computers are, there was an article published in 2021 and it states,
Google's quantum computer is about 158 million times faster than the world's fastest supercomputer. Quantum entanglement is necessary for a quantum algorithm to offer an exponential speedup over classic computations.
Now that I've spoken about how quantum computing speeds up the data transfer and how this relates to AI, I'm also going to talk about how this relates to Web3. It relates to Web3 because obviously Web3 is powered by computers. We will have an incredible amount of energy and instantaneous data transfer to power all of Web3. Although we don't know exactly what the AR and or VR world of Web3 will look like, we do currently have many components that will make up this space. They are
quantum computers, artificial intelligence, currency, example Ethereum, receipts. The blockchain allows transactions of money where users own their own data. I should clarify that money might not be the appropriate term. Let's use crypto. E-commerce platforms such as OpenSea, transaction infrastructure such as Uniswap, search infrastructure such as Etherscan, security, almost unhackable cryptography using quantum computing, digital items such as avatars, real estate, land, clothing, music, art, etc. All the things we have in real life, dApps, example Golem, and social platforms, example BitIslands.
These are some of the moving pieces of the puzzle that are coming together to create Web3. And all because the recent quantum entanglement theory was proven, which is driving the technology behind quantum computing. So now let's talk about Ada, the AI robot. She recently attended a House of Lords meeting in the UK to discuss AI-created art. This is the first time a robot has addressed lawmakers.
What is the role of technology in creating art in the future?
The role of technology in creating art will continue to grow as artists find new ways to use technology to express themselves and reflect and explore the relationship between between technology, society, and culture. Technology has already had a huge impact on the way we create and consume art. For example, the camera and the advent of photography and film, as technology can be both a threat and an opportunity for artists creating art.
So I am actually partly terrified by what you've been saying, because this, from someone who knows very little about this field, this feeds into all the films about AI taking over the world.
Universal Pictures recently released a film called Megan, which is about an AI doll that makes friends with this other little girl who lost her parents in a car crash. The idea is that the girl who lost her parents in a car crash will be protected by this AI doll called Megan and also form a connection with her. Eventually, Megan, the AI doll, does not turn off on command and stays on forever. Obviously, this film plays on the fears that people have about AI and also deeply addresses the question, can AI potentially alleviate human suffering? And in the end, the film goes terribly sideways. Now let's have a look at a small clip.
Megan, turn off.
Recalibrating response model.
In addition to Megan, there are also many other feel-good movies out there about AR, VR, the metaverse, such as Ready Player One, and I'm sure you can name a bunch more. Just as Ada mentioned with the camera, people feared it, but obviously we have now integrated it into our lives pretty well. I mean, I'm using a camera right now to talk to you. So, the camera was integrated in our lives, but we were still able to maintain old mediums like painting, clay making, sketching. They were able to live together harmoniously and, in fact, both benefit society by maintaining our really human, interactive old ways with the new ways, with the technology. It's now time that humanity starts asking the question, how can AI serve humanity instead of destroying humanity? How can we have AI work for us, with us, but not against us? I believe this is possible. Meller, the creator of Ada, says this technology is moving extraordinarily quickly. Therefore, now is the time to ask ourselves, how can AI work to serve us? How can we coexist with it with our highest and best intentions, and keeping these highest and best intentions in mind for both humanity and AI alike?
These are all the topics we went over today. Nobel Peace Prize in Physics, Quantum Entanglement, Reddit and Web3, Music NFTs, Windchime NFT by Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda, New Bank in Town, BNY Mellon and Web3, Bit Islands, Web3 Social Networking, SocialFi. On the heels of Meta and Microsoft, Google announces Cloud and Web3, AI demonstration for UK lawmakers.
Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you got a lot out of this video and a lot to consider about artificial intelligence, Web3, NFTs, etc. If you'd like to watch more videos on it, I highly recommend two videos by Brett Malinowski, who will be hopefully posted above here and pinned below, on Web 2 and Web 3, and there's also a really excellent interview with Alexis Ohanian. Alexis Ohanian is the founder of Reddit and, of course, Serena Williams' husband, and proud father to Olympia Ohanian. And he talks a little bit about the power of the blockchain. Hopefully you'll link that above here. If not, you'll find it below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.